Procedural maps are very useful in some cases because you can just quickly place a pattern onto a surface, and that pattern's resolution independent. You can get up really close to it and it won't break up into pixels. However, you can't use a procedural map to, for example, place a photograph onto a surface. For that, you need a bitmap or an image file. If you're working with image files, then you've got to make sure that the links between the scene and the image files are preserved. You'll need to follow this procedure in order to make sure that that will actually work. First of all, you'll need to go into the Customize menu and in the Preferences, choose the Files tab and make sure that the Convert Local File Paths to Relative is enabled. That means that when you create a link to a file, that link will be recorded relative to the current project folder. It will not be recorded relative to a volume name or a drive letter or a specific computer. This is important because a relative path means that you can take your project and move it to a different machine or to a different folder, and all the links that are internal to that project structure will be preserved. This switch is off by default. It's very important that it be enabled. Second, you have to actually have a project folder. We did this at the beginning of the course. You can either create a new project folder or set to an existing one. Since we have the exercise files here, then we just want to make sure that we're pointing at the exercise files folder. If you're a premium subscriber, you've got the exercise files. If you're not a premium subscriber, then you've already made your own project folder. Up here on the caption bar is a button that allows us to point to an existing project folder or make a new one. And if I click on that, it will take me to the current project folder. And right now you'll see that exercise files is highlighted. And that's exactly what I want. I don't want to select anything inside there because if I do, I'll be creating a nested project folder inside the current one. I just want to make sure that that is currently selected. Okay, so that's step 2. I've now got a project defined. Step 3 is I need to actually place the image files in the appropriate location within the project. Let me minimize 3ds Max for a moment and go out to the desktop. Here's the exercise files folder. We need to place our image files in a very specific location, and we need to do this before we build the material. And that location is Scene Assets, Images. And you'll see I've got some files in there now. Once again, you'll need to place the images into this special folder before you create the material. And they're in there now. Okay, I'll go back to 3ds Max. I'll open up the material editor with the M key. I want to make a duplicate of this backdrop material. All I need to do that is just drag it onto another sample slot. And now I've got another one with the same name, backdrop material. I want to place a bitmap into the diffuse slot. I can click on this button here and that will take me to the map parameters. Currently this is a noise map, but instead I want a bitmap. Click on that button that says noise and you'll see bitmap here. Double click on that and I get a dialog box that lets me browse for a bitmap image. And notice, very importantly, it has taken me to that precise location, my current project, Scene Assets, Images. And my files need to already be here. If they're not here now, I need to stop what I'm doing, bomb out of this, and copy the files into the correct location. The very worst thing you can do here at this point is start browsing to some other location on your hard drive or on the network. And that's an almost guaranteed situation where you're going to have broken links to your textures. And no one wants that. You don't want to open up a scene and get an error message that says your texture files are not being found. Okay, so I'll click on this one, galactic2k.png, and then click Open. And now I've got that bitmap applied to the diffuse channel of this material. And to assign it, I can drag and drop it, but because it's got the same name as the existing material, in fact, I can just click the button that says Put Material to Scene. Additionally, I'll need to turn on Show Map in Viewport here, or Show Shaded Material in Viewport, and now it's refreshed. That is the all-important workflow for managing source images or texture maps. You have to follow this religiously, and if you misstep at any stage along that process, there's a very high probability that you'll get broken links to your textures. And again, of course, that's not a desirable outcome. As long as you follow this procedure, then you'll probably be fine.